Hello, and welcome to the Coach's Cup podcast. I'm Coach Judith with the No BS Weight Loss Program.
And I am Sonia Green with Sonia Green Coaching.
And Happy New Year, y'all.
Yeah. First podcast of the 2023.
Oh, my word. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
here you go. Oh, I'm
Yep.
getting in the middle right off the bat here. Well, this evening we have a fun and interesting, I'm going to say interesting, because when it first hit our radar, um, the first thing I said to you, Sonia, was like, this sounds like delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we both kind of went down that rabbit hole. But what we're going to talk about today is going to be, hold on, delay discounting.
Delayed discounting.
So
Yes.
we've got two things going on here. So going to take the more familiar definition first. Going to define what delay gratification is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to scroll through my notes here. So what delay gratification is when you put off, delay
Mm-hmm.
having something, and we'll just use food as, it's the new year. We're all thinking about our weight loss goals, and we've probably been thinking about them a little longer than this year, but thinking about delaying food in this moment so that we can have the long-term goal, the long-term health benefits, and
Yes.
having weight loss, creating the result of weight loss. So delay gratification. Also, I think about
I think about money.
tell me about money.
Well, I think about because I am good with saving money.
Mm.
If I have a goal, I am very good. For instance, there's a pair of red boots that
Ooh,
I have been looking at for the last 2 months, and they've even gone on sale. And I would love to have this pair of red boots, but I know I don't need those red boots. And I do need, I need to save my money
mm-hmm.
for something down the road. I don't even know what it is yet, but I don't need the red boots. So I'm willing to put off having the red boots so that I can have money in my account when I need it later.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so thinking about money, maybe you've got something that you want to save for,
Mhm.
but you want the red boots instead. It's
I'm going down this rabbit hole. I'm like, what kind of boots are they?
I know they are. They're pretty. They really are. The black dress, they'd be awesome. Yeah.
Where are we going?
But I'm not going to buy the red boots.
Okay. Well, it's interesting to hear you say that too. I have a book on my shelf. I have not read the book, but I know the premise of the book, and it's called The Marshmallow Effect. Have you ever heard of
Oh yeah, I know this. Yes.
it?
I This cracks me up.
So it's like I think it was Stanford did some
I think so.
research with kids, and
Yes.
they left him in the room and said, and I think we've all seen like those M&M little TikToks where the parent puts the camera in front
Mhm.
of the kid and says, if you um if you don't eat these while I'm gone and I come back, you can have all these and more, or something like
Yeah.
that. And just the parent leaves and goes around the corner, and it's like, just minutes, like even a minute. And I love the one, of course,
An hour.
where
It
the
seems
dog
so
actually
long. Yeah. Yes, that one's funny. That one is funny.
anyway, that's an example of teaching delay gratification.
Hmm.
And this is like a skill that children can build,
Hmm.
skills that adults can build as well, learning to
Yeah.
delay gratification.
And the longitudinal study that they've done with that is that those kids who are able
Yeah.
to delay the gratification of the M&Ms early in life are really better at they're more successful later in life at lots of different things because they are disciplined.
Right.
And this gets us into the delayed discounting.
Right. Which kind of gets into that territory of, then these are my thoughts, right? Because this is a, what is it called? A economic behavioral assessment. Delay gratification is a, hold on, I did get a little note here.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
Oh, it's a term used in behavioral economics. Right,
Okay.
studying the behavioral. I'm sorry. Um, it's to describe the phenomenon of people preferring smaller immediate rewards over larger future rewards. This tendency to discount the value of future rewards
Yes.
can lead to such behaviors as procrastination, overspending, and substance abuse.
Yes. Yeah. So they want the value of the thing that you're saving for. Let's say you're saving for a car.
Oh, I was going to say red boots.
Or red boots. Yeah, I could save for the red boots. But the value goes down the longer you have to wait.
The longer you have to wait.
And so weight loss is a great one to think about, because if your goal is 150 pounds, and I think we talked about this in the future past and future focus podcast a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But if your goal is 150 pounds, then if you currently weigh 250, it's a lot easier to discount the value of weighing 150 pounds than it is if you only weigh 160 right now. If you only have 10 pounds in between you and your goal, then, you're less likely to delay discount.
Delay discount. I still like delay gratification wants to roll off my tongue as we say this.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of the opposite end of that.
Exactly. Both of them are skills, and both of them have consequences, right?
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah. I mean, it either way, that we are, if we react in the moment, we're discounting the value of what could be on the other end of that goal.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, which means we get back to our good old brains, who are at the root of all of this. And if you are more of a delay discounter, if you do lessen the value, then that is coming from your primitive brain. Because, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, when I was looking at, or, doing a little research, my thoughts were, because it said that you're more inclined to impulsivity,
mm-hmm.
right? And so that right there, my thought was you're in your emotional brain, right? Yes. You're less the ability to connect with that prefrontal cortex, to have a pause. That ability is just not fine-tuned, right? Yes. It's not a problem, but it's just good to know. Why is it good to know about this?
Awareness is always key. It's the first step in all of this, having that awareness. But once you realize that this is my prefrontal, or that this is my primitive reaction, mm-hmm. then you can make a decision, right? You mm-hmm. can choose to engage your prefrontal cortex mm-hmm. and say, okay, it's going to take me a year, or it's going to take me 2 years to reach this goal, mm-hmm. but I'm going to choose that, and, choose it minute by minute, maybe day by day.
Oh yeah. All day long.
And it's just like lifting weights, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You lift them, it's the repetition, and it gets easier.
Mm-hmm. And the consequences of delay discounting, mm-hmm. cut it out, could lead to, like, the poor consequences.
You're building that muscle. If you choose to continue in a delay discounting pattern, then mm-hmm. that's the muscle you're building. Right. And yes, you are giving into impulsivity, which,
like relationship problems, financial problems,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the
health problems,
the bufferings, the things we do that are the obstacles in the way of our goal.
Yes. We build up our I don't want to say our need for them, but our perceived need. Because if we're leaning on our primitive brain, then it wants things that comfort it immediately.
Yep. Seek
So
pleasure,
yes,
avoid pain, create comfort and ease.
there you go.
Motivational triad.
That's right. You all know the
Oh,
song. Same song, second verse.
I think that is what is so funny as we were studying for this. My thought was like, oh my God, like there's this word for all the things we use in coaching, but there's like this definition that succinctly ties it all up in a bow. Who knew?
Yeah. And it's awareness is the first step
Mm-hmm.
in this.
And that can be a really effective strategy in overcoming delay discounting is
Yeah.
being mindful, getting aware,
Yeah.
and being mindful.
And deciding what that is for you, because there are different methods for creating awareness for different people. In the beginning, if you are just starting to lift weights, to continue that metaphor that we've got going there.
I lift weights. I like weights.
But when you start out, you lift lighter weights.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might need I don't know, this isn't tying together at all. I'm going to cut this out. Except for the people on YouTube. But I was thinking, like you may need post-it notes around everywhere reminding you that this is your goal, that this is your long-term goal. Because if you're used to engaging your primitive brain, if that's a habit, which is what your primitive brain does, it creates a habit, then you're going to need things in your line of vision
Reminders.
to create that awareness before, it's not just going to come on to you. You're not going to say, well, I've decided that in 2 years, I'm going to have $1,000 more in my bank and I'm going to weigh 50 pounds less. You don't just set that goal and then
that easy.
there it is. You've got to break up what your habit brain is telling you, which is, we're having a good time eating the food and spending the money and
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do little things to break into your awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, as you're lifting heavier weights, your awareness is there. You just have to engage it in other ways.
Got the dry eyes. We're cutting this out too.
Yeah. I thought you were winking at me.
They are so dry. So
So
we've talked about weight loss and how people we've talked about strategies. What haven't we talked about? We've
I
given
I think one of the things that is interesting for me with delay discounting is deciding how far ahead I want to think.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this kind of gets back to that past and future focus podcast we did a couple of weeks ago. I need to revisit that. So maybe it's a good idea to go back and re-listen to that. But how far ahead do I want to be thinking? Who is the future me that I want to be practicing today? Is she 2 weeks from now? Is she 2 months from now? Is she a year from now? Who is that? And how far ahead am I putting this goal? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I get it. And I think especially for our No BS listeners, they resonate with the concept, the future self
Mm-hmm.
for you. And, and that is the kind of that foundation of why you want to think about your goal and build your goal and think about, it's that destination.
Practice.
Yeah. Practice. And I don't know, somewhere over the break, I was listening to something about habits. And it was, I guess, what stuck out to me about habits as we're talking about, like basically creating new habits and new triggers and thinking about future you, and goals, that people who set goals, the topic was the value in setting a goal for the New Year's, when people don't, in fact, like 9% of people who set any kind of New Year goal actually reach the New Year goal.
Right.
And then they went on to say, with a little more research, like, but don't let that dissuade you from setting a goal, because it is the people who continue to set goals who actually get traction going somewhere
Oh, yeah.
forward.
You're never going to achieve a goal if you don't set
If you
it.
don't, exactly. But in weight loss, often many people don't want to set a goal for fear, for all the reasons, because
I've never reached it before.
It's certainly, well, that's a whole nother rabbit hole we can't go down right now.
Yeah. But it has a lot to do with again, practicing and being aware of who you want to be, having a good picture of who you want to be, because it's not going to happen arbitrarily. You're not just going to wake up one day and lose all your weight. I mean, it's not a random thing. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly have $1,000 more in the bank if you're continuing on your same spending habits.
100%.
That's not the way it works. So you've got to set a goal, and then you've got to decide who you're going to be every time the temptation is there, every time the goal loses its value because it seems so far in the future.
And if you are, like, I think a good check-in is, like, if you find yourself procrastinating. Did I say that in the beginning, that's one of the
Yeah. So I think it's good to come back to that and talk about how procrastination plays in.
Right. Well, you will, procrastination is you avoiding doing the things that you want to do or need to do, or that you've committed to do or intended to do to get to the goal. And so recognizing when you are not doing the things, when you are over on social media, when you are watching Netflix, when you are, what is it called? Doom scrolling? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Scrolling. I don't know what that means, but I like saying it anyway. That, that would be an example. And it's in those moments that you can now see the procrastinating as the trigger to what's going on with me, and kind of backtracking yourself to getting in alignment with your goal. I didn't say back on track.
Well, and understanding part of, yes, you have to have awareness. You also have to have a sense of grace to give yourself, because your habit brain is the one running the show if you are delay discounting. So you're going to have some grace, and you're going to have to know ahead of time, I am going to mess up. I'm going to get off track from time to time.
Yes.
It's just part of it, part of the journey.
Yes. But again, I'm like, we could go, John. But we want to keep it on delay discounting.
Yeah.
Catching yourself. If you find yourself devaluing a goal that you set for yourself, for procrastinating, what were the other ones?
Being overwhelmed.
Gosh.
And I just thought about this, but a lot of times when we are devaluing a goal, what our brains want to do is they want to dig in and go, I wonder why I'm doing that. What's this deeper reason that I'm discounting this goal when I know I really want it? Let me tell you, folks, I hate to break it to you, but that's your brain keeping you off track, sending you down the little rabbit holes
of of
let's do some research instead of jumping in and getting back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's
So,
so much more important.
oh, it does. I mean, our brains are just amazing when it comes to pulling us off track. So if you start thinking, I wonder why. Why isn't this a valuable goal to me? Beware of that. Don't worry about it. Know that you are 150% normal because you're doing that, and just get back on track. Don't waste time trying to figure out why. The why 99.9% of the time doesn't really matter. It's not earth shattering. It's the same why that we all have. Not every time, but almost all the time.
Yeah.
Don't you wish it was more that key that you could turn?
Oh, just kind of having that moment of, brains.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
brains, gotta love them.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, so this week,
Mm.
as you're thinking about delay discounting, as you're thinking about your goals, where can you create some extra space, some extra awareness to just pay attention to those moments when your goals, when you're devaluing those goals, when you're deciding that a cookie would be a whole lot better than a new pant size or a new box being delivered from Amazon would be a whole lot better.
Oh, I would love a box from Amazon.
Well, and this time of the year, some of us are suffering withdrawal, right? Because we've had those boxes coming in every day during the holiday season, and there's no new box to open. I say that kind of off the cuff, but
Yeah.
it is a thing.
Uh-huh.
So,
Sorry, I'm moving my light. I lost my train of thought. Not that I had one.
all right. Well, anything else that we need to bring up about it, about delay discounting?
Um, I was looking, I had some quotes here. I was going to try and see if I could tie in a quote for all of us to think about. Oh, Leo Tolstoy. Is he famous? Do you know that name?
I do. He
Okay.
wrote Anna Karenina.
Well, there I knew you would know if he was
Yeah.
famous. He has a quote. This is the two most powerful warriors are patience and time. I do want to tie that back into when you're thinking about the future you, the version of you in the future. Be sure to enjoy the process.
Oh, yeah.
Not to rush yourself there. And that, I think his quote sums this up nicely about being patient and gifting yourself with some time.
Yeah, we're all works in progress, right?
Grace and space, like you
Yep.
said.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
I think I'm ready for bed, Sonia. How about you?
I am getting there. Yes. Kids start back to school tomorrow. Hallelujah.
Gosh, they did. Is today Tuesday? They didn't go on a Tuesday?
Nope, they didn't. But
See,
they go tomorrow.
Here's what I do know. Asheville has been without water for 9 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not good. It's
Huh.
not, but we'll talk about that off air if you
All
want.
right. All right. Well, if you are looking for coaching,
Oh yeah.
you can find me at soniagreencoaching.com. If you want to check out the Instagrams, I'm at Sonia_Green Coaching. And we have a fabulous Facebook page, the Coaches Cup Podcast, where lots of fun things happen. People post, we ask questions sometimes, and it's a lot of fun. So you should definitely join the Facebook page if you haven't yet.
And if you would like to coach with me, you can find me with a No BS weight loss program. And you can follow me on Instagram, Just Judy, JUSTJUDIE.
All right. And we'll be back next week with another fabulous topic.
All right.